Molly, let's go get him. Give me that joy I can't
So, my last
explain.
podcast
It's a
for
peace that'll ease my pain.
2021 is the third podcast. It's the shortest and straight to the point. How do we use what we have been blessed with to get what we need? Let's look at our future through our past and our present, starting with the last year. Let's see what our babies have to look forward to. Remember, I kept the receipts. I'm going to start with the internet, social media, since most of our babies can't live without it. Let's get into these platforms. YouTube, the book, and the gram, also known as Meta. Twitter and TikTok, and my favorite internet go-to, Google, which includes Wiki, Smarty Pants who thinks it's trash. You gotta coordinate. Use everything together once you've researched everything apart. I use hardback encyclopedias, cyber encyclopedias, any and all history books from all cultures, bios, dictionaries, websites, blogs, and any platform I choose. Let me show you something. Firstly, I started with these cases. All these cases that ended up being gang related. Our young people were dying in droves, y'all. For the last 2 years, it really got crazy. And I'll start with that information that I researched. I've talked about some of these cases, and you can find detailed info on GodForgiveUs.com. Many of our favorite local entertainers like Yellow Beezy, Money Wayne, Roy Lee, or other local Texans, testimonies like Pierre's, Botham's, Brandonia's, Atiana's, Joshua's, Siobhan's were national news. That's why I felt it was crucial in sharing them. As I say in my quick references, I pray every day that we wake up and do better. I want all of us to figure out how Satan is using us in his game plan. I want all of us to find our path with God and represent him for and us. If we don't and we continue to help with the pagan OWO NWO setup, we have no one to blame for this living hell we are cursed to but ourselves. I want this for us, but I want this for our children even more. They are young, they deserve this, they didn't ask to be brought here, and they're really being let down in many cases. I'm not saying everybody is doing that with their children, but too many people are. There's too many babies dying. This cyber espionage conglomeration is raising a lot of our children. They decide what our children believe in, follow behind, how they dress, who they will marry. We can barely tell these little natural clones that come from between our legs, men and women, what to do anymore. Hit one and you're going to jail if you can't talk your way out of it. Tell them you don't accept their gay lifestyle, they'll say you're mentally abusing them. Refuse to give them man-made medicine, they'll lock you up for neglect. It's asinine. So I pay attention because I know without our babies, there will be no future black, brown race. Period. End of story. Yeah, I don't want to hear about how there's too many of us to be worried about disappearing because I'm watching us die, dissolve, and disappear on a daily. They are consistently keeping stats on us, including our babies. This is one of 1,000 pie charts that show our babies on their information, on their sites. You won't be able to see that problem, and I have to definitely put that in the book. But it's showing that our children are paying more attention to them than they are to us. 73% of them are on social networks every day. 37% send messages to their friends every day. 8% use Twitter. 22% log on to Facebook over 10 times a day. 25% are on Facebook and they're under the age of 10. And the average teen has 201 Facebook friends. And a lot of adults are not aware of this. Some are. Then it shows our parents that are reporting worsening mental health for their children, ages 5 through 12. Now, they're not going to put the color here, but I pretty much know how this goes, and I think y'all do too. But overall, their worsening mental and emotional health is at 22.1%. And then elevated symptoms of depression is 4.14%. Elevated symptoms of anxiety is at 6.3%, and symptoms of psychological stress is at 9.2%. Then we have U.S. online youth that use the following social media sites. YouTube is at 98%. Facebook at 87. No, I'm sorry, 78. Instagram is at 69. Snapchat is at looks like 39%. Twitter is at 47%, and Pinterest is at 48%. And that's from 2017 to from 2014 to 2017, and they're showing how much it's grown. Then we have firearm-related deaths by race and age. I throw in all of these charts when I'm studying anything, but especially when I'm studying these teens, I go back and forth with their information. White firearm-related deaths, of course, are lower. We have in the 15 to 24 bracket, it looks like it's around 15%. With blacks, it's around 80. I don't know, about 78. And then 25 to 34, with whites, it's around 22%. With blacks, it's around 80. 35 to 44, with whites, it's around 15%. With blacks, it's at 27. 45 to 64, actually the whites are beating the blacks out at 45 to 64. We have whites at about 25%, blacks at about 20%. And then 65 and over, we have whites just at the cusp of 27%, blacks at about, it looks like it's about 4%. So I guess our elders are learning something later in life. Good for them to not go that route, continue that route. Juvenile arrest rates down, but still highest among black youth. Of course they are. Rates of suicide by race, ethnicity, and it looks like American Indian, Alaskan Natives, they have the nerve to put them first. Poor Indians or Native Americans, then whites, then overall U.S., then Alaskan Pacific Islander, then Hispanics, and blacks are the lowest. We don't kill ourselves as much. Great for us. Yeah, it's nothing to be, I guess, happy about, but I am. COVID-19 child deaths, they put them that the Hispanic ethnicity, I don't know why they put these Hispanics. I guess they wanted to let us know that they're dying off more than anybody. That's crazy. But anyway, Hispanics at 43%, blacks at 29%, whites at 29% or 19%, excuse me. Asians at 3%, Hopi Indians at 1%, multi-race, mixed people, I guess, 2%, unknown is at 1%. So it looks like Hispanics are dying the most. They're probably trying to kill y'all off. You better start paying attention. Juvenile arrest rates down, but still highest among black youth. No crap. But we're at around 14,000 per 100,000, 10 to 17 years of age. Whites are at 8,000, and American Indians at 4,000, Asians at around 3,000. But bottom line is that's too many juveniles, period, that are being arrested for whatever they're getting into. It doesn't break it down. Then we have a number of juvenile offenders in the state, and blacks are number 1, American Indians are number 2, Hispanics are 3, whites are 4th, and Asian Pacifics are 3rd or 5th. I'm sorry. That's more charts that I'm going to add for people who are interested. On the back, we have children in foster care by race and Hispanic origin. They always put us and the Hispanics together. There's something to that. I don't mind being with the Hispanics. I love them. But there's something to that. They're trying to, I think because we're populating the quickest, they're trying to get rid of us the fastest. So we have 21% of Hispanics in foster care. We have 2% American Indian. We have 1% Asian. We have 23% non-Hispanic black. I don't know what that is. 8% are non-Hispanic multiple race groups. Non-Hispanic white are at 44%, and race unknown is at 1%. So I don't know where we're at. I guess some of that non-Hispanic. Oh, okay, non-Hispanic blacks. That's us at 23%. We're at 23%, so we're the high. No, who's the highest? 44%. Non-Hispanic whites. So white people, I guess. Percent of placement types by race and ethnicity. They have relative foster care, non-relative foster care, congregate care. And It looks like blacks were at 50, whites are at 47, Hispanics are at 61, Asian Pacific at 100. Oh, I guess they're being placed with their people. That's what this means. And 60 is at American Indians are at 60. So whites, it looks like, are not being placed with their people the most. And proportionality in U.S. and that's also foster care versus general population. We have whites at the highest. We have blacks. No, that's not us. Hispanics are next. Blacks are after that. Um, Multiracial is next after us. Asians are next, and then American Indians in foster care. So we need to get our babies because I can tell you here right now, I've done the research. They are doing all types of dark and grossness with those babies in the system. Black teens experience daily racial discrimination. No duh. Black teens experience daily racial discrimination. Both articles were about our babies receiving all types of ugliness thrown at them for being black, and I pulled it. Suicide rates rise in generation of black youth. So they're watching them. They're trying to make sure they're driving them crazy. Get your kids. Get them from in front of these TVs. Get them off these computers. Get them back on pat. Study shows black teens use social media differently than whites. I bet they do. But some of them are still being affected. Too many black children are way out there now. And they complain about everything. These damn millennials. I know it's not their fault completely. Somebody is raising them to do it. But I have to turn off the computer and the TV sometimes. All they do is complain. If they're the most whitewashed group out of all of us. Black and Hispanic teens see risky behaviors on social media, but few actually post about them. Then black teens are most active on social media. We're on there dancing. Them little babies be getting off on TikTok. Woo. I be like, those are babies. But then they'll show out about other things. I mean, I guess we all have something, don't we? New survey reveals Snapchat and Instagram are the most popular social media platforms among American teens. I just kind of pulled this stuff so we can kind of be aware of what our babies are doing. For those who are not, there are some people that watch every move their babies make. They know what's up. But for us that are not doing it, you got to get your babies. These charts made the alarm bells go off. Ring-a-ding-a-ding, especially ones that show how they keep up with us in the system. Black and Hispanic adults and teens, we are their target audience. It's a large pool of folks. Any mixed person from dark skin to light brown skin in America has a race attached to a birth certificate. Hold on. Hold on for me. Okay. These charts make the alarm bells go off. Ring-a-ding-a-ding, especially the ones that show how they keep up with us in the system. Black and Hispanic adults and teens, we are their target audience. It's a large pool of folks. Any mixed person from dark skin to light brown skin in America has a race attached to a birth certificate. You gotta be kidding me. These charts make the alarm bells go off. Ring-a-ding-a-ding, especially the ones that show how they keep up with us in the system. Black and Hispanic adults and teens, we are their target audience. It's a large pool of folks. Any mixed person from dark skin to light brown skin in America has a race attached to a birth certificate. But they know we all come from two races. The original black in description, brown in color one, and the white in description, pink in color, pagan leper one. Us plus them equals all the rest of the brown to beige ones. And pagans want to know what their science experiments are succeeding in and what they're failing at. How does it affect their master plan? So I decided to include the foster care charts and general population charts that keep them in our loop, along with the social media charts. Y'all can get in on this research too. Our entire future race of babies is at stake. They are all up and through our babies' minds, taken up and written out space. That's why our children are so off the hook nowadays. They act like the offspring of mental patients. Check out some of the stuff they're coming up with because they are being influenced by certain people to do so. So I have a picture of this darn NBA young boy dressed up in makeup. He decided he's going to start wearing makeup because it makes him feel comfortable. Black men in makeup go back to African traditions, he said. This is right after he got out of the joint. So anytime that they go to these places, these white boys are fiddling around in their heads. Best believe it. And then they come out just as Kanye does every time he goes in, and they make some crazy proclamation. So I have him, and then I have this darn Little Nas X. Now keep in mind, this little wide-nosed bastard's dad is an alleged preacher. Let the dad tell it. His calling goes all the way back to his younger years in Georgia. That's in quotes. Yet it's okay for his son to be a gay Satanist and pretend it's just jokes. The devil is a lie. And I will be putting that type of information in. On the back, I have Little Uzi Vert's, which name is Lucifer when you say it fast. He is the devil. It says that here. All the others are happily pushing the satanic agenda, which encompasses the LGBTQT agenda. And I have Beyonce, Trippie Redd, the little nut the other day down at Astro World that had all those people killed and was smiling on the stage, Cardi B, Drake, all of them. That's that boys. And you need to go in there and look at it if you haven't. That little cave there, that's what Astro World was about. And he stood on that stage and he sung all types of creepy stuff while those babies died. I'm sure I'll include it in something because I was pretty pissed off about it. These originators and their offspring. The originators and their offspring. I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure folks knew where Satanism and paganism occult comes from. Because, I hear too many people saying, well, black people are pushing that. Black people this, black people that. When we were first in the garden, there was a group of us that were black that ended up with leprosy, allegedly. Also, we were told there were ones up in the cave that already had white skin. This comes from pagan culture. This comes from leper pagan culture. All of this heavy metal, hard rock, any type of devilment, it comes from their culture. I've done the studies. I wouldn't lie about it. No more than I'll lie about us cutting up and getting into stuff and killing people around here, raping part of these sex trafficking and drug trafficking rings. We are cutting up. But this comes from white culture. It is done purposely as folks point fingers at parents and tell them they should control their own children. I agree, but I also was able to pull my children from the bad influences. All parents don't have that opportunity. Some don't even know where to start. I lucked out. I pulled off the grid and got back on pack. Praise Him. I asked and I received. But I see the parents who have to slave on a job day in and day out, barely having the energy to put into their babies. And it's planned that way by you know who. I see them making something from nothing, wondering if they are being closed-minded or a bigot. That setup will have you questioning everything, including your beliefs. They have not invested thousands of years, allegedly, and all their energy and money into their agenda to have us wake up. They are fighting every day for our children's souls, just as the Creator is. Pay attention, brothers and sisters. It takes a village and the blueprint to raise them. Go back to both. If it takes a village to raise a child, and then it takes a village to raise a child, African proverb. Oh, it says it takes a village. What do I mean? Yes. And I just like those, so I printed them off. Because it does take a village to raise children. Then we have Meta, and this is what they think that Meta is vying for. They want our babies like this. And some of them are like this. You go in their rooms, they're zombies. Introducing AI human tailored to your business, applicable for various fields such as broadcasting, education, finance, and commerce. AI human, deep brain. So a lot of people are, of course, saying that is what Meta is vying for. That's what they're headed towards. And I'm sure they are. Why wouldn't they be? This says y'all refuse to be a safe haven for your children on some the real world won't coddle them bull s. Of course it won't. That's why they need to learn what love looks like so they can recognize when they're being treated badly. Don't normalize pain and disappointment. And I agree with Soda Pop Thought to some degree. But of course there's a balance. Then Facebook. Please be patient. We are deleting 10 plus years of illegally collected data that we obtained for the CIA. Don't forget about the FBI. But yeah, that's when Facebook went down some months ago and everybody, well, a lot of people lost their crap. I won't say everybody. Some of y'all on Facebook like this, but like this in real life. No lies told. Want to be Malcolm X, but I never watched that crap that they said nigger in 10,000 times, but I heard about who he played. My phone when I say I want to buy something. That's all of them. And that's true. As soon as you say something, you see it on Facebook, Instagram, whoever. One of these social media platforms. How y'all come back after 30 days in Facebook jail? Peace, peace, beloved. That's cute. A little jokey. That's how you come back from regular jail, too. Cities across the nation providing $100 and other incentives for kids to get the vaccine. I cannot believe black people are toting their asses down there, less known taking your children to go get this in them, and you don't know what's in it. Well, we don't know what's in anything. Well, then use your brain. Shoot. No. Don't just give in because you don't know what's in something else. I couldn't believe it. To be a man, he has to see a man. Level up. And this was a Freemason did this. But I don't believe in fraternities, so I scratched it out. But I love the message. I love that. The first man she learns to trust is her father, and that's all strong. If it wasn't for my daddy, I wouldn't know nothing about what a beautiful black man is supposed to be, or handsome. This one, on probation for being a effing parent. Now my child thinks she can do anything, and if I touch her, I'll just go to jail. That's that Tommy girl. She went up to school, whooped her daughter's butt, and then her daughter stole a car, and she put hands on her again. Now Tommy gets into a lot, but the government in our business with our children, never will I agree with that. She needs to get her stuff together. Her child is acting out because of who she portrays on TV. But she should have the right to whoop her if the girl is coming for her. She takes care of her. This one says, swear my kids look at me like, hey, maid, I see you in your maid outfit. That's also from hip hop, and that's funny. This one says, y'all stop saying it takes a village, then get mad when somebody says something to your child. And that's on Stone. They had a little girl on there, but I cut her face off. The way she be pursing her lips looking at us. No child should be longing for a relationship with a parent that is alive and well and living on the same planet, period. I totally agree. I agree. And then what's worse than going to hell? Taking your children with you. Some of these folks ought to be ashamed. I need to turn that light off. Glaring on everything. So I state that I needed to have the breakdown of all of those things that I said causes us to go against God and fail. But I am going to try and just go ahead and get through this because I've gone a long time with these podcasts. Please allow me to review my list from the first pod. We're dying, dissolving, and disappearing while denouncing our Creator and following behind downfalls like the setup of an evil life led by evil leaders who, by the way, entice us with all the following downfalls named in the first pod, which I will rename because ain't shiitake changed. I started with drugs and alcohol first because this trick of the trade is by far the easiest way that they are able to get us to fall for all of the other downfalls listed below that we were warned we'd fall for by following behind them when they followed behind evil. So I don't have the pictures, but y'all remember them from the first podcast. Next, modern day slavery on the plantation is hidden in plain sight. The stats from the streets and the prison stats from drug and sex trafficking plus violence and murders are off the chain. Then we have too many disrespecting our elders. That's never cool. A great number of millennials, most suffering from alcohol fetal syndrome mixed with narcotics and don't even know it. They've decided in order to receive respect, you have to give respect. The creator hasn't said one word or sent one word through our ancestors that state that. The commandment says respect your elders, period, with your T. There isn't an addendum added. There is a statute that warns parents about provoking their children, but most young folks don't even know what that entails. It's not advising parents to not parent. Quite the opposite. It is warning parents about corrupting their children and then beating and fussing at them after you do it. You know, teaching them to be whores or drunks by your actions and then screaming at them or fighting them when they become whores or drunks. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just want us to figure things out and get on path. The next downfall was sexual debauchery, i.e. sex out of wedlock, polygamy, LGBTQ, pedophilia, a really horrible problem in the sex trafficking arena. Also, bestiality is back with a vengeance. Nignods have learned about peanut butter on privates and other debauchery picked up from you know who. All the above is large and in charge. The disrespect, the immoral actions, the murders and diseases killing us, eating us alive, and too many are out of here before their time. Lying and cheating was next in line, and they go hand in hand. Our children see political leaders, church officials, teachers, doctors, parents, and peers doing it, and they repeat the cycle. Jealousy and hating on one another also goes hand in hand. Behind every act of violence or murder is a jealous person with the possibility of being a hater. These downfalls are always on the agenda and are always used to control our future, also known as the end, also known as the beginning and the present for our next generation. See how it works? Once we fall into the trap and are cursed to repeat sins and abominations, our babies are cursed to repeat them. And pagans know it because, again, Satan taught them the master plan. Here's the gotcha. The Creator knew too, which is why He left us our blueprint and testimonies. We, in turn, are supposed to leave the blueprint, our testimonies, and a positive legacy for the ones after us. Not some of this hodgepodge too many niggas are leaving behind. Examples. Manifestation. What the what? What hat did Nagas pull this magic rabbit from? That's what it is. Magic, occult, witchery. I believe the Soros are responsible for this. That's what I've seen and heard when researching. Bottom line, young folks, manifestation, vision boards, the law of attraction, readings, or anything where you are begging through veneration from the universe or asking of the dead is occultism. You are playing in the dark. You will have to give something back. The Creator's blueprint is the only way to beg and not have to give of anything, especially your soul and or your future generation souls. Please stay away from the dark. Listen to this sister who cared enough to warn us, her fam, about what goes on in these secret societies sent from Satan by way of sellouts. I said it.
All right, y'all. So I know y'all clicked on this message like, what the heck is Chris about to talk about? Now, it's going to take me a little while to, get this all out, but y'all be patient with me. Yes, I was a part of witchcraft. I was a witch and did not even know it, okay? And I'm not talking about nobody else's story. I'm talking about my own. So in order to get to where we going, we going to get to where it started at, all right? Now, most of y'all know that I'm from Liberty City, and some of y'all don't know what Liberty City is, okay? Liberty City is a place in Miami that's on the other side of the bridge. This ain't South Beach. Nah, this is a place that's full of poverty, all right? This ain't no place that with palm trees. Matter of fact, you don't even barely see no palm trees or grass, all right? It ain't all of that where I'm from. But I'm from there, okay? And when you come from a place where it's not so great, you're always determined to be better. There's a determination to be better, to have more than what you got, to live in something better than what you done been brought up in. And I would say the example of that were the women that were around me who were members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. These were those type of women, okay? Now, if you wanted to be somebody, them girls who had them cars, who had great education, who were well-spoken, you were one of them. Or you really wasn't nobody at all. So here I come. I'm like, shoot, I'm with it then. If that's what I got to do to be greater, I'm going to do that. I want to be, joining forces with people who are going to help me further where I want to be and also do great for the black community. I'm about this. And I feel like my history with Delta dates back to being a Delta Gem, even in high school. So I didn't just become, a Delta when I got to college. I was in pursuit of this thing from my youth. I was a Delta Gem. I had mentors. I was president of the Delta Gems chapter that I was in, and we continued in this and we did great things. And I felt like these women did great things for me. I would love and be honored to pay it forward and be their sister. I want to join those ranks of these people, them people. And I'm trying to get from around where I'm at. I'm trying to go higher. I'm trying to take it to the next level, if you understand what I mean. So leaving high school, God's always been good. Pursuit of education, excellent. 5.6 GPA leaving, get a full ride to where I'm going, boom, be able to interview. I get the Delta Scholarship. From the Delta Scholarship, they recommend me for the National Panhellenic Scholarship down here. I got it. Boom. We going. Now we pursuing things. We're getting better. We finally beginning to climb. We making it, y'all. We coming up out of Liberty City. All right. Get accepted to the college that I want to go to, and now all things are aligning. Get to college. Now it's coming time for that time. Now the thing that I'm wanting is that time. Now it's coming. All right, I'm making the calls I got to make. I'm getting things aligned because this is what I've been in pursuit of. 3.9 GPA. Now that you know, in college, you finally got everything you've been doing. You've been doing scholarship. You've been doing service. You're ready for it. Finally pursue it. Get invited to it. This the moment I've been waiting for. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Ain't nobody finna hold me back. I'm down at the Wells Fargo getting my cashier's check. Let's go. Let's go. I'm in this thing, y'all. I got mine. Let me go. And I felt like all along I was so excited because I was getting ready to do something that, you know, folks in my family hadn't done. I'm getting ready to take it to another level. Because if you're a part of them, you have no other choice but to be great. Excellence was the standard. And that's what drew me to them. I love things done in the spirit of excellence, even from my youth, and this drew me. So now, how did you become a witch and not know it, Chris? I'm getting there. Be patient, dear. Be patient. I'm getting there. So as all of this is happening and going on, I didn't know that while in pursuit of a higher level education, that I would begin to practice in a higher level magic of witchcraft that I was unaware of. This is the pursuit thereof. This is the journey to it. So now I'm getting into this organization and it's time to get down. It's time to commit. And I understand that this is going to be everything that I didn't know it was going to be, but you just go for it. As each day goes by, you just go for it. Now, back in track, I already told y'all, I never had a problem, you know, academically. Not a problem at all. Superseded, did well in anything that I did. But now I get here to this point and I'm online and now I can't remember anything. Now my mind is under attack and I didn't realize it at that moment. I did not. This comes really after reflecting. After I got out, I realized now what was happening to me. All right. I'm online. I can't remember anything. They're figuring, well, can somebody deal with her so y'all can help her remember too? Because I don't understand what's going on. Neither did I. Neither did I. First attack on the mind. Witchcraft deals very differently from each individual. You don't know how it's going to attack you. I was dealing in a level of witchcraft that my body was never supposed to experience, but nonetheless I did. Telling y'all as well that even while I was in pursuit, I was fasting and praying to God, thinking he was really going to hear me because I guess I thought that I could serve two masters. Nonetheless, we're continuing in this process. Now, as this process continues to go, my mind's already been under attack, but at the same time, now I get a phone call from home, my family member telling me I need to come back home because my identity has been stolen. So I didn't understand back then, as above, so below. As my identity was being traded and stolen and given over, even willfully by my own free will, I didn't understand that this was happening to me too in the natural. And if you don't believe that God be sending you signs through what you going through, you need to stop and reflect, because I was being sent all the signs. Nonetheless, I was blinded. I was blinded by the lust and desires of my own heart. I don't care if this is leading me to a road of destruction at that time. I'm going for it. I said I would commit to it and I'm going to see it through. That's what I was doing. So I get to the point where I'm at one of the first types of things where we need to undergo ceremonially. I get there and we all here, you know, we doing what it is that we have to do. But now it comes to a point where I got to bow. And if I ain't take nothing from my Pentecostal upbringing, I'm like, listen, you know what? Thou shalt have no other God before me. Thou shalt not bow to any other God. I knew that. Now I knew that. But soon as we got up out of there, I'm finna dock it. I got to call my mentor. Hey, nah, y'all ain't tell me nothing about that. But now I just got up out of there. What was that all about? Can you enlighten me to what just happened? Because I don't know what just happened. But I know we was all there and that's what we did. Well, you know, not to worry. It's just like with African traditions. It's ceremonially no different than the rites of passage. I'm like, all right, if that's what you got to do. I don't know. It don't feel right, but I'm going through with it anyway. All right, so I done went through with that. Things continue to progress, and I've gone through with everything. Now, as I look back at the situation, we're going to talk about how I got out, but I look back at the situation, there were several things happening all at once. I was ceremonially participating in witchcraft, okay? I was a part of something that I really didn't fully understand, and I was It was deceptive because one of the terms used is that this is a Christian-based organization in which all the principles would be based upon what Christians do. However, it's adulterated because there is a patron of the organization which stands in proxy of Satan. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody, grown people, let grown people do what they want to do. Okay, every grown person, please do what it is that you want to do. I'm not responsible for you, like you're not responsible for me. I will not sit in the comment section and debate with you. Live your life. I'ma live and let live. This is talking about my story, my transition. And if anybody finds hope, finds inspiration from this to do what it is that God has probably already been provoking your spirit to do that. Now let's switch over to when someone who's a loved and trusted source came to me about 7 years ago, okay? Asking this one simple question: have you ever thought that what you're a part of, you might be serving another God? Why she asked that? Because I snapped. No, absolutely not. No. Because everybody know, honey, I love God. I love Jesus. And this is what it is. And we do great things for the community. And furthermore, you're not one of us. You're not even Greek. You don't even understand the inner workings of what happens here. So no, no, I've never thought that. And I'm never going to think that. Thank you. I snapped, eating her head off. I wasn't in a place to even have a conversation, to have my thoughts, ideas, and beliefs about what I was a part of challenged. I wasn't in the space to do that. Now, fast forward, it takes maybe about 4 years later that she comes to me. In between, I've already been in pursuit of God for myself. I've already disconnected from a lot of things and people that I was connected to. I needed to see God because my life was so upside down. I needed to figure out where I went wrong on this journey. Now, you talking to somebody who has pursued excellence, who has exceedingly done well in everything I've did. Now, how do I end up here? What the heck is going on with my life, God? I got to figure this situation out. So I would like to think this was my road to Damascus type of experience. I'm down at the building and coding building about to, get some permits pulled for a project that I was working on. And this beloved source to me comes and says, listen, I just want you to take these earphones. I want you to hear what this girl has to say. Listen to her. Just listen to it all the way through. Just please, for me, would you listen? And I was at a point in my life where I could listen. I didn't know what I was about to listen to. But when I listened to it, it was a young woman. This video is from like 1997. This young woman literally said, she was a member of Zeta Phi Beta, Sorority Incorporated. She had crossed through FIU, Florida International University. And there was some things that on her spiritual journey, she was enlightened about. And as she began to speak about her journey, she asked a question. If this is all Christian based, then why would we need a patron to be the forefront of an organization? And I said, why would we? Why does any of the Divine Nine, why does any other organization, Eastern Star, Masonry, why does any organization need that? If this is unto the one and true living God, then it is really not necessary. 2, why does there have to be so many rituals when we should serve God in spirit and in truth? Why do we need all of that stuff? I didn't know. When I finished that video listening to that young woman, I said, I want out. I want out, and I want out immediately, because the feeling that came over me was the feeling of deception. I hate to be lied to. I do not like to be lied to. When you've given your life over literally to a situation, and some of you may be able to understand that with a significant other, and then you're lied to about something that you were involved in. In my situation, I was leading a life that I didn't fully understand. I was on a double standard. I'm serving 2 gods. I'm leaving church to go to chapter. I'm serving 2 gods. I am kneeling before a different God. And I just felt so disgusted in my spirit that nobody told me this. How could I be a part of this? Did the people who brought me in, did they know? How did I end up here? So after that happened, I said, I got to be able to get to my books. I need to get to my books to understand this. I don't know what I'm a part of right now, but I am devoted. I'm going to stay up. I will read this stuff from front to back and back to front to figure out what I'm a part of. Now, I came to a point in a passage of something that you're given earlier on. And in that book, it said, you have now entered into a struggle from which you would never be freed. I was shook. I was shook. Hold on. Entering into a struggle from which I would never be freed. Now, I knew that this was for a lifetime, but I didn't know what we were serving for that lifetime because it was masked. Now, you put a patron there, but then people would argue that the patron isn't what we serve. Well, why I got to be there? Why when we sing songs, we say this patron's name. We say Minerva. Now, if I'm serving God, Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, no, Heavenly Father is just too vague for me. Who are we talking to? I felt some type of way, okay? Now, after getting this stuff together, I would say that it was as much as a struggle that I had to get into Delta in order to get out of Delta. It was a struggle. I had write your letter, follow up every day. It took 6 to 8 weeks, probably even longer if I can think about it, because I've been out for years now. But just as much as I would call daily or follow the rules that I needed to follow in order to get down, I had to do that in order to get out. When I look back at my journey and what that journey was like while I was in that organization, I was deceived. I just didn't know. And I know that that spirit can fall under anybody. That's why I'm not there to judge anybody. Again, grown people, let grown people do what they want to do. If you find the need that this is a video of substance that leads you to do your own research, then do it. If you figure that this video is trash and garbage, keep scrolling. This is not for you, but I'm simply telling my journey because the girl from Liberty City was in pursuit of greater. I didn't understand that everything I needed was already inside of me. I left my position as the elect, okay? The light, the children of the light, to join something that was called the elite, okay? I joined the elite, but I left my ultimate position of the elect. I think about our last going over, which is a probate show. Now, if we look at the natural, right? And if we're looking at this natural thing, a probate show, and then in probate court. Now, what in probate court happened? It's a legal process to make sure that the last will and testament of the deceased member is carried out. Probate show, probate court. There was something that was happening in the spirit realm that I did not know back then. There was a selling out of the birthright. And if you don't think birthrights are real, I want you to go read about Jacob and Esau. He sold his for a bowl of porridge. As a descendant of Jacob, I do believe that Satan wanted that birthright back. So it came masked, through all of these things that the heart, which is desperately wicked, was in pursuit of. I wanted more. I was in pursuit of more. I deserve more. I am this. I deserve more. I deserve to be amongst the elite. I deserve to be the head and not the tail. Let's go. I want more, and I'm going to do this with a group of people who get it. Because everybody around us just don't get it. And that's what I felt. But later on, I was left deceived. And there is a terrible feeling to be deceived. When getting out, and I dropped a video about a year ago telling you that there's no feeling like being free, to provoke you all to denounce anything that is not of God and is keeping you from divine destiny. This is that season. Things are timely. Things are so timely. You've got to understand that these people have an artificial light, okay? They tell you that the intelligence is the torch of wisdom. But I like to refer you back to the Bible, which states to us that the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of all wisdom. You can't have that. They want you to be torch bearers, but I want you to then do your research about what's going to happen to these torch bearers. What's the end result for people? So most of us are familiar when it says, what does it profit a man to gain this whole world but to lose his soul? What would it profit you? You got everything here, but your soul is in eternal damnation. And as I begin to do my research, crossing the burning sands, listen, hold up, that sound like, Moses and the people of Israel, when they came over and, God parted the Red Sea for them to walk over on dry land. And then he washed up everybody that was in pursuit of them. Now, if we talk about a sea and then a lake of fire, I'm crossing the burning sands. Now, I've left my position of a child of the light to enter into the darkness. I don't want to go to hell. Hell is too hot. I don't want to be tormented. I was really a part of this. I was die hard. I practiced my oops. I practiced in this stuff. I went to other campuses and with other chapters. I want to know how this song should be sang. No, I don't want to sing it the way we've been doing it. I want it to be right according to the musically composition of how this was supposed to be. I want this table to be right. The ambience, the lighting, the this, the that. I wanted things to be right because perfect practice was going to usher in the spirit perfectly. I was in witchcraft. Now, I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about me. I walked around with a ritual book. This is me. Now, what do witches do? Practice witchcraft. Perform rituals. That's what I did. Some people won't keep it funky with you about what they doing. They glamorize it. And to the outside looking in, it does look golden. The splendor looks golden. But they've already told you that everything that glitters is not gold. The experience was one that I could not fathom. This was everything that I didn't know was about to happen. And this really flipped my world upside down. So as a person who's now out, where I've gained my freedom, got my papers after however long, after being told that if you denounce this, you could never pursue membership again in this organization. Well, to God be the glory. I am after my birthright. I want everything back that the enemy has stolen from me. Satan's agenda is to steal, kill, and destroy. Something was stolen from a great many people of you who are even inside of these organizations. And the one thing that I want you to know, the elite will pursue you when you are the elect of God. The elect of God know that they are destined for better. And sometimes we get tired of being at the bottom, but you can't go over there. You are the light that folks are trying to emulate. That's an artificial light. Only the light of God will be standing forever. If you want to be free, some people love slavery. Some people will never understand a free man's train of thought. Fine. Stay in that struggle. Keep in mind, you entered into a struggle from which you would never be freed. And at the end of the day, there's a final rites of passage where your soul is then committed. You can't tell me about that. I know. I was in it. I attended those. I was there. Nobody can tell you when you've been in it, when you've lived it, when you've performed it, when you've brought other lines of women in. I had over 50 women on the campus of the University of Florida express their interest in the organization. Many said, I never knew what this was until I met you, but I met you and I want to be your sister. I want to be a part of something like that. Listen, baby, if you watching today and you express something to me and you later went over, my apologies. I was deceived. I do apologize to you. Again, it's an opportunity. If you followed me in, you can follow me out. You too can gain your birthright. I apologize for being a bad example before you. I was in pursuit of something. This is straight humility talking to you. I apologize. If I led you down a road of destruction, my sincerest apologies to you. I didn't know. I was unaware. I was only doing what I thought would lead me to a better road in my life. I didn't know that I was trading over my birthright. I didn't know I was trading over my position. So you guys can do with this video exactly what you please. I want to let this be known that I am not afraid of the powers that be. I serve the one and true living God, and he's already ordered divine protection. If any one of those of you who are in and want to come out, you got questions about that, feel free to hit me up. Nonetheless, if that's where you want to be, if you enjoy what you do, God bless you, keep you. Do whatever it is that you want to do. But now that you've heard the word, you are accountable. I don't have to work out your soul salvation. You do. I'm not accountable for you. You are. Love you much.
All Satanism, paganism, witchcraft, occult, and or any other dark arts go hand in hand. I don't care how they try to cherry pick and sugarcoat evil. It is all against the Creator's word and blueprint. Plus his so-called Abrahamic religions, as they love to call them. It has caused our family nothing but suffering, violence, and death. And it is what caused us to be enslaved. Anytime we put our evil, dark powers up against theirs, everybody suffers. But it seems we suffer the most, just as we were warned. I have New Age versus paganism, and they come together to make shamanism, Buddhism, Taoism, Kabbalah, most energy healing, I don't know what that, modalities, Hinduism, Native American spiritual restoration, Hermeticism, alchemy, divination, and Gnosticism. But separately, there are New Ages under Theosophy, Ascension, Ascended Masters, Abrahamic faiths, more coming in New Age, extraterrestrials, Atlantis, and Lemuria. That's all paganistic stuff. Then under paganism, common faith inclusions have eclectic, non-traditional based witchcraft, tradition-based witchcraft, voodoo, Santeria, Macumba, ceremonial magic, Shinto, Druid Reconstructionist tradition, Aboriginal Reconstructionism, and folk tradition. As I said again, this is all related to the occult. I've studied it for 30 plus years. Please believe me, I know. And I'm going to put that in on my website and in the podcast where you can see it. This is Vision Board, Success Secrets, Extreme Vision Board is Success Secrets. How to make a use of Law of Attraction. That's really big, Law of Attraction. As well as secret occult prayers designed to activate and magnify your success. Create a Law of Attraction vision board that manifests your dreams. 5 reasons manifestation and Law of Attraction is not godly. It ignores the sovereignty of God. That's not how you say that. The manifester becomes their own God. It robs you of the gift of waiting. God gets 0 praise when we get what we want. We create idols of the things we're desiring. Colossians 2:8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. The laws of magic. This has a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to sit here and name them. There's always magic. Always. All of the avenues to tap into the dark equals the same end result. Whether folks claim they're a Satanist, pagan, witch, warlock, they're on their knees for the Dark Lord, as we are on our knees for our Father, but only praying. Watch for the commonalities and syncs, i.e. symbols, rituals, demons, etc. Paganism versus Wicca and witchcraft. A modern religious movement of paths influenced by historical paganism. That's white people's culture. Wicca, a modern pagan religion blending European folk traditions and 1800 and 1900 century occultism. Pagan and European is right in the definition. Witchcraft, the non-religious practice of the manifestation of a particular intent from the interconnectedness of the world. The subjects above are some of their favorites. Sellouts have helped push these dark arts back into our lives. Thanks, Obama. And I say that because he pushed that LGBTQ agenda. And it has everything to do with witches and warlocks and paganism. Earth religions, paganism, witchcraft, heathens, and Wicca. Heathens indeed sent here for a specific purpose, and we need to put 2 and 2 together to get 4. Scriptures, Leviticus 26:38. And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. And that's what's going on. Leviticus 26:45. But I will, for their sakes, remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt, in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their God. I am the Lord. Yes, you are God. Deuteronomy 4:27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in a number among the heathen. Hither the Lord shall lead you. 3 separate warnings that his chosen children will follow behind heathens, get dealt with, and he would have to rescue us. Same old same. No. That's the little thingy there. Paganism, non-Abrahamic religions. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. They're showing all 3 of those Abrahamic religions because they are rooted and based from word of mouth that our ancestors left here for us, that they received from God. But people did put their stank on every last one of them. There is a lot of man-made mumbo jumbo put in these scriptures now. Wicca, Druidry, Hellenism, Kemetism, Celtic, Asatru, any other non-Abrahamic religion is paganism. Their way of bragging that it's the Creator's children, Abrahamic, versus whom? Non-Abrahamic, or Abrahamic for those who say it that way. Wicca, Book of Shadows. I say, watch for commonalities and syncs when it comes to the dark arts. They all pray and worship in the same way, to the same 5-point pentagram. They may take different pathways, but inevitably they all meet at the same coven, and that is on stone. People in the U.S. identifying as Wicca. We are now up per them from the 90s to the 2008. We were up to 350,000. But believe you me, almost all pagans believe in some form of witchcraft. Even in their churches, they're performing rituals. They're pulling in their old cultures. They're bayonet moons. They're only worshiping during the solstice. All you have to do is dig around, and you'll find this. And it's being sent on to our churches. This uprising is nothing new. They're just bragging. They have never not followed their paganistic beliefs. The goal is to get others who never believed in it to believe. And that's what they're doing. Believe you me, I know my daughter goes to a temple with them. And I tell her all the time when I see things that are not of God. Siegel of Infernal Union. North, Belial, Earth, Pinnacle. I have to be careful. I don't want to be conjuring demons up in here. But they're just showing that same old, same old. So why bother us nice, positive folks? The devil makes them do it. Catch on quick, then avoid it like the plague, brothers and sisters. The inverted pentagram, South Satan fire. I'm going to put that on the site too, website. And Satanism founders' philosophies, pagan or occult symbolism. That's their altars. You will find when I was doing those babies in Georgia, the Atlanta children, they had these everywhere. Those babies were being indoctrinated into those covens. And their parents pretend like they didn't know it. Well, they were a part of it too. How could they not know it? Then I have second pagan or occult symbolism or stock footage video. Choose from a wide range of similar scenes. So I just pulled this another. Spirit, air, water, fire, earth that they worship. Pentagram, Satan, occult, devil, eye of providence, Illuminati, Freemasonry, paganism illustration. It all goes hand in hand. So that's the first one, and then that's the one for Freemasons. And then this is just gross. And I see a little skull up there, look like a ghost too. But that's the pentagram. The head, the goat head that's in the pentagram a lot of times. I keep my ears open and my eyes on the part of our tribe that have bought back into a cult, straight out. Whether they are witches, warlocks, throwing assay at the end as they read palms, it's all against our original blueprint given to our ancestors on the path. We are not to dabble in the dark, conjuring dead ancestors and demons. We can love our ancestors without conjuring them up. It's leaving dark on this earth. Too many Freemasons and Eastern Stars, along with other Greek frats and sororities to count. They're allegedly God-fearing and believe in Jesus, Yeshua, many through the Trinity, yet they're mixed in with secret societies. Too many Crips and Bloods to count. Many smack dab in my family. Again, they're allegedly God-fearing and believe in Jesus, Yeshua, many through the Trinity, yet they're in gangs, i.e. secret societies. The lost tribes know we shouldn't in present day be bound down to their ways. Exodus 21. Those are dark, evil ways that cause us to disrespect our Creator and elders, lie, steal, change our sex. On the back of here, I have our traditional African religions. That's when we first started all these ceremonies and rituals. Elite pagans and their followers want us to believe that we are the original Satanists who played in a cult like sun worship, ancestor worship, animism, and they may be right. Per word that was left with our ancestors, there was a group of sellouts who turned on the blueprint and decided to play in the dark. Every religion has a variation of the first man who did it. Christianity has Adam. Islam has Jacob. Luciferians have Lucifer. So if nothing else, our fam knows some of us turn to evil and we have that blood coursing through our veins as lepers. My thing is, too many pagans like to remove the second part of that testimony. Once the first ancestors played in the dark occult, committing sacrifices, bestiality, LGBTQing it up, they were cursed with skin as white as snow. They were exiled to cold caves. They were denounced from the blessings and covenants and promises, which is why I think so many are pissed and keeping up stank. I cannot say that if they repent and turn back to path that the Creator won't forgive. He does it for the original fam. But so many of the pagan leper race have not told the truth of the matter. They have went along with the lies taught and spread throughout the land. They have helped keep the evil sins and abominations in rotation. If you or someone you love don't fit the bill, this ain't about y'all. This is about the folks who are keeping up lies, chaos, and confusion. And may I add, as I researched and put my books together, I even came across a few of them admitting that they are not a part of the bloodline of the Creator at all. They claim that they are aliens who are from Atlantis or prehistoric caves or another planet, which is why I blabbed about it on my first podcast. Whether they are or are not, the bottom line is that our bloodline is still full of the dark brown race that stayed on path and followed the Creator's path. Even when we lost our way and followed the dark, we repented as a whole and got back on path per our own history, testimony, and word, which is what Scripture is about. It shows the Creator's children being blessed through the covenant when we follow word in the blueprint. It also shows us if we fall off path and allow ourselves to be led astray, all we have to do is immediately stop sinning and committing abominations.